Apparently, Canada passed a new law. This new law would allow the government to take children away if parents don't accept their gender identity. I'm sure no child will ever exploit that ever. A Canadian province has passed a law that gives rights to the government to take children away from families that don't accept their kids' chosen gender identity or gender expression. The Supporting Children, Youth and Families Act of 2017, also known as Bill 89, was passed in Ontario by the vote of 63 to 23, the Christian Times reported. The law, which replaces old laws governing child protection, foster care, and adoption services, instructs all child services and judges to take into consideration child's race, ancestry, place of origin, color, ethnic origin, citizenship, family diversity, disability, creed, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Minister of Child and Family Services Michael Coutu, who introduced the bill, said, "I would consider that a form of abuse when a child identifies one way and a caregiver is saying, no, you need to do this differently. If it's abuse and it's within the definition, a child can be removed from an environment and placed into protection where the abuse stops." The old law used to allow parents to direct the child's education and religious upbringing. The new bill, however, amends such rights of the parents. It now emphasizes a child's identity and allows parents only to direct the child or young person's education and upbringing in accordance with the child's or young person's creed, community identity, and cultural identity. Because of how complex identity is, I don't think it's good to place a lot of power into children and allowing them to decide to turn their parents in, so to speak. I'm sure there are cases where this bill would help a few people, but I see it more easily opening up opportunity for people to exploit this new sympathetic law. I know there's no reason to show this picture right here, but I saw it and I wanted to include it because down with America, right? In other Canadian-related news, there was a protest against Bill M103, which is the anti-Islamophobia bill. They called this march the Million Canadian March, and both Breitbart and the Daily Caller claimed that about 5,000 people had been in attendance. However, there is photographic evidence that showed that about half of their turnout was relative to the amount of people that come to do yoga on any given day. So only about 100 people had showed up, according to one of the sources. I have to say, I'm not a frequent reader of Breitbart.com, but they do uncover some interesting stories sometimes, and I do follow Daily Caller on Twitter, so I am a bit disappointed in both these websites. The new media and people aspiring to be the new media have to hold themselves to a higher standard than they're held to. It is important for the new media to abide by all the rules that they claim that the old media doesn't abide by. That's really all I got for now. I couldn't really come up with enough to talk about in regard to these few stories because everything seems immediately obvious, but I'd like to know what you guys think. Maybe you have a perspective that I haven't really entirely entertained, but I do really enjoy reading through the comments, even if I don't comment back all the time. There's just a lot of notifications. It's kind of a lot to sift through. I know it sounds like a humble brag, but it's just honestly true. I have to go through the spam comments as well, and it's really tedious because you have to click on them one at a time, and it's a bit much, but I try to make it so everyone can have a voice. But anyway, that's all I got, and I'm going to go ahead and end with this clip that I've used for a few videos of mine, and I love it. It's from Vice City, and really I just want an excuse to throw it in the video because it's awesome.
Believe it or not, you have just experienced another world-famous Super Rockin' Mr. Magic rap attack. About that time to bounce. I'm out, I'm gone, I'm ghost. But before I leave, gotta remind you, be yourself, because you might find yourself by yourself, and any fool can learn from his own mistakes, but it takes a wise man, wise gal like you to learn from the mistakes made by others. Quick reminder, persistence always overcomes resistance. Peace!